sky. Engines roar, we fly. Sweat beading on our brow. Teamwork's the key right now. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victories in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victory's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Wheels burn on the track. PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, engines roar, we fly. Sweat beading on our brow. Teamwork's the key right now. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victories in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victories in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Wheels burn on the track. PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, engines roar, we fly.
To round 2 of the PHG GT something exhibition series. This is now day 2, and we're going to be doing splits 3 and 4 today. Hope you're all doing well. Happy Saturday. My name is Toon. I am accompanied by commentary veterans Leo and T-Case. Gentlemen, we had quite the interesting first day. Starting with you, Leo, what do you think we'll be seeing in the cards for us today?
Say that one more time, Tune. Internet was
Uh,
acting up.
all right, fair enough. So we had an interesting day yesterday,
Yeah.
with splits 1 and 2. What do you think is going to be in the cards for us today?
Well, we saw some really close racing yesterday. I mean, I'm sure we're in for that again. Maybe some different strategies, maybe some different cars. I don't know for sure. Maybe a lot more of the same cars, but should be quite interesting. I mean, these guys are fast in their own right, just because they're in different splits like y'all were talking about yesterday. There's some fast people in this one I saw, so I'm quite interested to see how different it varies.
Alrighty, and T-Case, you were watching the broadcast yesterday, so you're pretty much up to speed on what we missed. Do you think we're going to be in for something a little out of left field today?
Yeah, I think well what we saw yesterday is that there's two options. So there's the no stopper on the hards, and then there's a one stopper option. And it was really interesting, especially in that second split, to watch Papa and Hector battle it out there at the end. Papa, of course, going for that no stop, and Hector opting to take a pit stop. So uh, I'm excited to see what everybody does. I kind of have a feeling people are going to pick one strategy, whichever one they thought was best, and go with it. And I'm curious to see if everybody is agreeing what strategy is best.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid point. And speaking of our split 2 race winner, I do hope Hector did go back at the broadcast and see that little thing I queued up for him when he retook the lead. But anyway, enough idle chit chat. Let's go and take a look at the race details for those of you that may have missed yesterday's broadcast. So, we are at Autodrome Lago Maggiore in Italy. We'll be doing 15 laps in the assigned manufacturer's Group 4 car because this is a manufacturer's cup after all. Racing hard tires are allowed, as you might have gathered from the no-stop conversation. They are the required tire, but you can use mediums, and if you're feeling extra masochistic and want to make an extra pit stop, you can always do the softs. We have a 5 times fuel burn and a 3 times tire wear modifier, so this is going to be a pretty interesting one. These Group 4 cars are going to chew through these tires, and the fuel tanks, well, their fuel tanks are there. Moving our way over onto the next slide, let's take a look at the points available for round 2. So you will get 5 points if you have the overall fastest lap in quali. You get another 5 points if you secure that coveted pole position for your split. You'll get an extra 5 points if you get the fastest lap of your split. Doesn't have to be in qualifying, but in the race itself. You'll get 5 points for the most laps led, so most laps in P1. And then you'll also get 5 points for leading a lap, whatever that means. And going on over, let's take a look at the point distribution so far. So we've already gone through first and second split. So the max amount of points available for the drivers in third split will be 195, and it'll be going down by 5 for each position until we get down into about P6. Then it'll start going 3, and we'll bottom out at 149 points. So even if you don't do great in your split, you'll still wind up with a healthy chunk of change right there. Going over into 4 split, you'll have a max opportunity to get 146 all the way down to 112 from P1 to 14 respectively. Making our way on over, what else have we got? Let's take a look at the overall standings. So it looks like we've got what are these? The qualifying results? Qualifying results. We'll go with that.
Yes.
All right. So here's how people placed. These are our top scores in the qualifying sessions for split 3. And it looks like Lead Pencil will be leading the way in split 3, followed by Shelled, and then Auto Joe rounding out our top 3 for the midweek qualifiers. Then we've got Jay, P. Choi, Jersey, McNervy, Moose, Luis, Petey, Strict9, Iron Fix, who I'm glancing over at the chat and apparently will unfortunately not make it today, and then Arrow rounding out our starting grid for this race. Going on over, what else do we have today?
That's all.
All right. That's all, baby. So with about 149 points on the line, that could definitely propel some drivers up in the standings. TK, do you think we've got some people that just might be better in Group 4 cars than they are in Group 3 cars in this split?
Oh, for sure. I think we'll see that with a few drivers here. Definitely doing better in the Group 4. The issue is sometimes, as Leo learns, is sometimes the Group 4 car is so drastically different from the Group 3 car that you have to completely change your driving style. Some of these go from rear-wheel drive to all-wheel drive. You go from rear-wheel drive to front-wheel drive. All sorts of things, and it can make it very challenging. And it looks like we're getting started with qualifying.
That we are. So let's jump into the live feed, and we are on board with McNervy, who is going in on his outlap.
What?
And it looks
What
like
is
he
going
is currently driving the 458 Italia, which we saw wasn't the best on tires, and he has gone back into the pit. So let's go jump on board with Auto Joe, who appears to be in the Genesis G70 all-wheel drive version. And that one is definitely going to chew through those tires like a baseball player with a can of dip. This is going to be, it's going to come and go pretty quickly, folks. Now, let's see how Auto Joe fares on his outlap. He might probably want to conserve the tires for this one. If any of you recall from Season 1 of this PHG GT festivity during Watkins Glen, the strategy for all the drivers was pretty much conserve your tires on that outlap, borderline have auto drive do the work, and then just gun it for the hot lap. We'll have to see if anybody will be able to recall that strategy and see if we can get somebody with the freshest set of tires possible. Now, TK, so the G70 is arguably a pretty good Group 4 car. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, it's been kind of meta of late. Not as strong as the Lamborghini had been, but the all-wheel drive cars are definitely the dominant ones for Group 4. And this one specifically, I think it's just really easy to drive. It has a lot of power. It is a bit bigger, but to me, it's just a really comfortable and easy to handle Group 4 car.
Okay, now, Leo, I know you're more partial to the Lancer, and for some personal reasons, but have you put a lot of time in with this G70?
I have put a little bit of time into it, Tune. Not a whole lot. All the all-wheel drive cars. I mean, I'm not a fan of how you get on the brakes too heavy and they like to slide around. It's not something I like preferred to me, but it is pretty solid though. I mean, it's a solid car. I did do a race in it in Moose Wars with Slow-Mo, I believe. I think I was in the Group 4, and it actually wasn't too bad.
Oh yeah, you were in that with Slow-Mo, weren't you? Yeah, he was your teammate. I forgot about that. You were bouncing around quite a bit in that
Uh,
Moose Wars.
Yeah, I seemed like I was everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
You know what? That's fair. You were just filling seats and doing what you could. Now, as we take a look at Auto Joe, who is on his hot lap, plenty of life in those racing softs, so he should be able to set himself up for a pretty solid lap time here. He's coming in towards the second time check, I believe. Nope, might be the first. I don't know. This track is really weird.
It
And coming
is.
in towards the downhill Banky Boy hairpin. And it would appear that we have also just lost Luis for some reason. Don't know what
Oh,
happened there.
no.
Must be a connectivity issue. Yeah. Ooh, Auto Joe took quite a bit of the inside on that hairpin. Hopefully he didn't get a penalty for that. I know the track limits for this circuit are very, very weird. Because there's that one portion where the green runoff is still somehow within the track limits. But
Yes, it was very odd. I saw everybody doing that the first split, and I was like, "Well, let me try it." And honestly, I was like, "Wow, that's egregious that it's way out there that you can go."
And you can really abuse like this whole track. You cut the inside a lot. You want to get as much of the apex as you can. You can straddle those sausages. You can run wide here pretty far. Um, this being a fictional track, I guess the track limits are just as fictional.
I was just
I
about to say the same thing.
I guess so. But Auto Joe coming in with a 204.961. I think that's better than some of the times we saw yesterday in qualifying. I think the only other person I saw in a qualifying session drop a 204 had to be Hector. Because yesterday in Split 2, Pyro set a 205.002 and held on to that for a while. So I'd say Auto Joe's in some pretty elite territory right now. Wouldn't you agree, Leo?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Auto Joe's a quick dude. I've raced him many, many, many times, and pretty chill guy. So he can be quick when he wants to be. I guess he put some time into it finally.
He can indeed. Oh, hang on. I think I might be having some internet issues.
No, it's
Leo.
we're having. There we go. There
There
was
we go.
Okay.
a quick freeze up there as
Oh
Okay.
man.
the audio is deciding it doesn't want to work again. But anyways, back to this racing that we have going on here.
Yeah, back to the racing as we see PHG Jersey in the Corvette. I think is that the that's a Corvette. I see the stupid little flags there. It's a yay Chevrolet, right? Yay! As
Hey,
we
you
see
leave the
Jersey coming
Corvette
in,
out of it.
I will not. Looks like Jersey is not having the finest of laps, but that could also be due to the fact that his tires are looking absolutely stir-fried right now. Coming into the Banky hairpin and getting in on the inside, trying to carry that momentum, running out. It looks like he's not going to be setting any records. Honestly, do you think it'd be beneficial for Jersey to just bounce back to the pits and then try again with the last just under 4 minutes we have left in this qualifying session, T case?
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. Sorry, I'm doing some technical behind the scenes stuff real quick.
You're good. I can
My
answer
apologies.
that actually.
All right, go ahead, Leo.
It would as we see a lot of the guys actually starting to come in. I mean, you'd want to come in around the 4 minute mark, get some fresh tires. You've already burned off as much fuel as you can to get the car as light as possible. And as we see, he goes in the pits.
Now that Group 4 vet, Leo, is that a MR or an FR?
FR. Both the Group 3 and Group 4 are FRs. We don't have the C8, so we don't have an MR yet.
Yeah, I thought Corvettes were an MR.
The new ones
are.
Okay. Also, taking a look at Pete Choi in a Land of the Rising Sun inspired Honda NSX. Gotta say, that is actually not a bad looking car. TK, do you think we could get a chase cam view of that at your earliest convenience?
Yeah, of course we can. Here we go.
Hey, look at that. And showing, true to nature, how Honda really just races with Acura. It does have a giant Acura logo on the back. That is a very, very nice looking NSX. I have to concede that much.
Yeah, I would agree too.
Something about it. It's cultural, it's elegant. It's got,
And
hold
Godzilla
on,
on
it's
the
got
front.
Godzilla on the front.
I was waiting for you to find out.
Hold on. Okay, no, I love this car. Hold on, I love Godzilla, so this is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. All right, Choi, I'm rooting for you, man. Come on, bring Gojira proud.
Oh no, Gojira.
Oh, Gojira! Okay, he's safe. I'm sorry, those are just really good movies to just sit back and watch on like a Saturday when you got nothing going on. Just go and watch a giant
Agreed.
spicy iguana just go and like decimate Tokyo for like the 80th time.
You think they would have learned the first 5 times?
Yeah, you'd think, but then again, you can't keep the iguana down. And I do
Right.
actually I do recall oh lord, there's one person in chat and I know she could remind me which one it was, but her and I sat and watched a Godzilla movie and it's her favorite one, and then we went and did my favorite one, which was Godzilla 2000. I know it didn't age well. No Godzilla movie ages well. But, like, I don't know, for nostalgia reasons, I just love it. Oh, Leo, you got a favorite spicy iguana movie?
You know, I'm not a big fan of Godzilla.
Are you more of a King Kong kind of guy?
No, neither one of them.
Pacific Rim.
The first one, and only the first one.
Wait, they did another Pacific Rim?
Yeah, they've done 2 more, I think.
What?
And yeah, exactly. This is why you don't know about them, because they were not great.
Not great,
Yeah.
Bob.
Not great.
But the first one, that was kind of my favorite, because it was similar thing. They're, fighting the kaiju and whatnot, so it was cool. Big robots fighting other gigantic monsters. Who doesn't like it?
No, literally. But as we jump over to Lead Pencil, who is bravely, I might add, driving the Renault. Now,
Ooh.
Renault has what, 2 Group 4 cars?
I believe the McGann, this one,
And then the
and the
McGann Trophy.
Yep.
Trophy. Yeah.
Then which one is this one?
Yes. I don't know.
I think it's the trophy.
I think so too, but I could be wrong. I don't know. We saw Rick Shear last night in the McGann, and it did pretty well, actually.
I'm a fan of
Yeah,
it.
because one,
I like
Yeah.
driving this car quite a bit. It can be a lot of fun.
I really enjoy the Renault RS01. Honestly, if I had made your lobby Tuesday when you were doing the Group 3 road cars, I was going to drive the road version of the Renault RS01 because that thing's got 7 gears, it stays planted, and it is just super fun to drive. Like, it is
Right
very
on.
much worth the $500,000. Now, if I remember correctly, with these Renaults, one is FR and the other one's all-wheel drive, yeah?
Yes, and I believe we got our NRL commentator in the chat who confirmed the trophy
Oh.
is MR. What up, Flawed? And the Magan is FF.
FF. Okay, and we are in the presence of commentary royalty. Flawed Genius Gaming, everybody. Gentleman, scholar, commentary extraordinaire. Happy to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. And if you want to come, chit chat for a few minutes, make an appearance, let us know. We'll get you in here.
Yes.
Now, as we take a look at McNervy's in the box.
I think
So, yeah,
everybody's
that's-
done.
Yeah,
Yep.
everybody's done with their qualifying laps here.
All right, then I guess we just wait for the runoff, and then we will. Oh, never mind. There's a runoff.
Small grid. I do
Yeah.
apologize for the lack of game audio. We were having some issues before the stream started, and then we got it working. And then right as we started to go to the game, it decided not to work for whatever reason. The audio is not coming through, so we do apologize for that.
Worst case scenario, everybody, if you want to hear some race audio, I can have Leo just do car impressions the entire time.
Ring-in-in-in-in.
My leg.
Good times.
And Thankfully, nobody's driving the Group 3 Mazda. Otherwise, that'd be ear piercing from Leo. But anyway, let's go take a look at these qualifying results before we just keep faffing about. So, Auto Joe takes the pole position with a 204.523. Trailing only just over a quarter of a second behind him is Shelled with the NSX with a 204.828. Rounding out our starting top three will be P. Choi with a 204.973. And making our way down the grid, we will have Jersey, followed by Lead Pencil, Moose, and McNervy. Luis will be starting from the back as he had an unfortunate disconnect, but is rejoining. So everything is going to be A-okay, and we're going to get as many people racing as possible for this round and make sure that everybody can get the max amount of points possible. And I did say 2 NSXs. No, there was 1 NSX in Split 2 last night, wasn't there, Leo?
I believe so, yes. I think that was a speed bump, if I'm not mistaken.
And apparently Flawed wants Godzilla impressions, so
Rawr.
Godzilla on helium.
That's as good as I'm gonna get.
Yeah. I don't know how they do the audio for him, but
I don't know either.
yeah, I don't know. Either way, while we wait for everything to get situated and get underway. Wow, this is really falling apart fast, hasn't it, boys? This commentary started strong, and just like Le Mans in the first season, we are just done already.
Well, I mean, you get 3 of your friends together and talking about racing and whatnot. I mean, it happens.
You know what? That is totally fair. You know what? Yeah, that's part of the beauty of having the 3 of us in the booth. It goes from serious to lighthearted to us talking about things like chili dogs and Waffle House. It's a mixed bag. And I also said, I'm sorry, you going to Waffle House?
No, I have them that I
You have what?
learned recently. I have a fun fact that I learned about them.
What is it?
Okay.
They have a scale of natural disasters that FEMA
Mhm.
uses. I did not know about this.
Yep. If Waffle House is closed, everything's closed.
It's bad. It's
Waffle
bad.
House is always open. It's time to evacuate when Waffle House closes its doors.
Exactly. And they have different crew members that will go to that affected area to work at that other Waffle House. It is
Fantastic.
ridiculous.
Doing more good
Fantastic.
for this country than FEMA.
Yes.
I mean,
All right.
is FEMA going to shut down the Waffle House? No, Waffle House is going to
No.
shut down the Waffle House.
Exactly.
Looks like we are
All
going to get started here as Luis has made it back into the lobby.
Hey.
All right, fantastic. Looks like we are a little light in terms of drivers this go around, but that's okay. Life happens, and only 2 rounds, I believe, count for this. So, really, no skin off the bones for anybody. But let's get this race underway and go see how this is gonna transpire. So, as stated before, we've got Auto Joe in the Genesis G70 taking P1. But as we saw with some of the cars last night, 4-wheel drive cars are definitely a glass cannon in terms of tire life. They can go fast, but at what cost? It is the epitome of ballin', but at what cost? As they start making their way over to the start-finish line, they are off. Race is underway. Coming into turn 1, I would assume that everybody's going to get through this nice and clean. And look at that, just like Sprite, crisp, clean, no caffeine. Pete Choi is trying to hold on to the inside and hold Jersey at bay in that Godzilla mobile. And Leo, how did the NSX do in the last split?
I mean, it seemed like it's a pretty easygoing car. I mean, I've driven it myself, and it's a kind of a forgiving car depending on how you enter and exit a turn. Just like any of these cars. I mean, honestly, especially Moose and the Mustang. Didn't expect to see that. Haven't seen a Mustang yet.
Well,
Lead
I think
Pencil
he's
going at it. They've been wheel to wheel for several laps, but now it looks like Moose got the job done.
Yep, Moose was able to get the job done, and I think Moose and Chuck are the only two that have signed with Ford. So I know Moose was saying that the tire wear on that Mustang is terrible, and he's also on a controller due to some outside circumstances. So that's gonna, hinder him in some regards, or at least that's what he wants you to think. But from what I know about the leader of Moose Mafia Racing, is that he smiles in the face of adversity. He will rise to the challenge. He will make this tire life problem completely non-existent because he is the leader of MMR. He is the proprietor of Moose Wars. He is Moose, the 21st. 21st of his name. As we jump on board with PHG Jersey, who is trying to get an overtake done on P. Choi, but P. Choi is defending magnificently and is currently just it looks like he is trying to use the slipstream from P. Choi, maybe trying to get a little bit of overspeed as they come in towards the tail end of this first lap. No real shakeups have happened. Now, the white lines is the track limit for that last corner, right?
I have no
think we
idea.
established we have no idea what the track limits are around here. I think the only way we're going to find out is if a little penalty pops up, and then we'll have to kind of go back and look and see what they did.
All right, fair enough. To those of you eavesdropping in the broadcast, hi, how's it going? Hope your race is going well. I know it just started, but could you be a dear and get a pen for us so we know where the track limits are? Pretty please?
Somebody.
Anybody?
Well, there we go. There's a track limits penalty.
All right, thank you, Auto Joe. We got a track limits pen. All right.
Let's see if we can figure out where. Nope, he already got it. So replay isn't going to help us on that.
Well, at least we know track limits are a thing.
They exist here in some form or fashion.
Yeah, in some capacity, track limits are a thing. Now, as Auto Joe is going towards the penalty line, it looks like Sheld will be able to get the overtake just due to, well, the half-second pen. Or not?
No.
Wait, nope, there it goes. There he is. Yep, there. Yep, he lost one position, but... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, we'll see how he does to that big old Banky boy. I mean, you can gain speed and lose speed through there, but looks like he was not able to get around Sheld.
No, but then again, Sheld was carrying more momentum due to the game causing him to lift off for half a second. And Moose is up into P4 now. Wonder what happened there, but hey, hats off to you, dude.
We got a nice little Ford versus Chevy battle right here.
Yep, and just like Ford versus Ferrari, the Ford's probably going to win. I don't know. They're both American cars. They are not really the best. We need to do better as a country in terms of our cars.
I think we have other things we need to solve before we solve our cars. Anyways, that's a topic for another discussion.
No. But coming into the start-finish straight, looks like everybody is bunched up right now. TKs, do you think we can get a moment in this lull period to see who's on what?
Who's on first and I don't know is on second?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know's on third, but what's on second?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start up here. We got our leader, Sheldologist, on the hards. Auto Joe also on the hards. Oh, look at that. P. Choi on the hards. Hey, Moose on the hards. Hey, Jersey on the hards. Hey, Lead on the hards. Hey, Nervy on the hards. And Luis on the hard. So I think everybody determined that the no stopper is the way to go.
Hey, we got everybody on the hard.
I wish them luck on that one. Depending on the car, that may or may not work out.
All right, and I'm just getting word from production from NRL. We need to focus. Just throwing that out there. Apparently, we need to focus. So,
looks like they split up. We got 1 through 3 kind of clustered, and then a little bit of a gap going back to Jersey and P4 with Moose still pushing. The battle there for 4th seems to be pretty solid. Lead also in the mix for that one. And then a nice big gap going back to P7.
Yeah, it looks like they're slowly starting to fan out, but it seems like these battles that we're getting is the battles we're getting aren't just, a one-on-one little bout. It seems to be a triple threat match in all of these little packs. So as we've got Moose trying to get the overtake done on Jersey, it would seem P Choi has fallen off a little bit, and Jersey went real wide there, so that has to be a penalty. That has to, or not.
Saved it.
Oh wait, there was a pen way in the back. Yeah, Jersey
Oh.
must have lifted then, and McNervy does wind up with the half-second pen. Unfortunately,
missed
it
it.
was too far back for us to see, which unfortunate, but ooh, getting a little squirrely coming out of what is that? Turn 2? Yeah, turn 2.
Yes.
But also seems that McNervy does have enough of a gap on Luis at the moment to not be affected too terribly much by that pen. As we jumped over to Moose running a little bit off but getting back on the track, Jersey has now closed the gap between himself and P. Choi. So one mistake could cost 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wow, that could cost a lot of positions. You're going to have to do some borderline flawless driving. As we see, Sheld is still trying to hold on to the lead. PHG Jersey giving a slight little bump over to P. Choi. And it is, yeah, everybody's bunched right back up. And since everybody's on the hards, I think we're not going to be really seeing anybody go in and lose any positioning just to the pits unless the Mustang or the Corvette absolutely obliterate their tires. I don't know what the situation is on tire wear for those cars. Leo, maybe you can enlighten me.
Yeah. See, I haven't done enough tire wear races on either or to know too much. I know I've used the Vet more, and it does wear out the front tires quickly, from what I remember. Just depending on what compound you're on. But if I remember right, the Mustang is somewhat similar in that way, so I would suspect to see them two go in at the same time, Jersey and Moose.
And it looks like Sheld and Auto Joe are going to remain too wide. They both really want that race lead. But with that battling, they might wind up slowing themselves down. It looks like Moose was able to overtake P. Choi for P4. Must have been a pretty bad corner, but this is also showing just how close this racing is. One bad corner will cost you a position, and you do have to drive borderline perfectly. And it looks like Moose and P. Choi might be doing some side-by-side racing on the start-finish straight. Which has the better top end? It looks like it might be the Mustang. P. Choi trying to take the inside, but now is on the outside just due to the chicane nature of turns 1 and 2. Ooh, and Auto Joe does go off. He has got some dirty tires, and that is going to cost him a little bit of time and is going to make that car a little bit trickier to stop. So that might be an opportunity for Shell to capitalize and might cost Auto Joe 1, if not 2 positions if things might go awry. Moose looks like he is trailing just a little bit behind Jersey, but this battle is very much far from over. We are only a third of the way through this lap, and it's anybody's game. Anything can happen, anything will happen, and we're just going to have to wait and see when it'll happen. And yeah, McNaughty's putting it perfectly. 6 drivers all within a second of each other. This race is insanely close. And it looks like Lead Pencil will overtake Moose and take P4 with that Renault Megane trophy or the other one. We don't really know. But Lead is... Yeah, let's get a replay of that, actually. So here we have Lead on the outside, and then over on the... Oh, no, he overtook him on the outside. I think somebody's been watching McNaughty's shorts, because Round the Outside, episode 781, Lead Pencil to Moose.
As it is a trophy from Flawed.
Oh, it is a trophy? All right.
Thank you, Flawed.
Yeah, I can't tell which one's which. I don't race the Renaults.
It's okay.
Now, it looks like they have spread out just a... It does seem like this racing does turn into a bit of a concertina where we go from bunched up to spread out to be bunched right back up. It's actually interesting because that's showing some cars are struggling on certain parts of the track and then they're grouping right back up not even a minute later. So the cars have to be relatively balanced in that regard. Wouldn't you agree on that one, Leo?
Yeah, I mean, just like every other thing that we've ever done, certain cars have advantages in certain different parts of the track. So maybe the McGann Trophy is better in the twisty sections than these long straights. It doesn't have quite the power that some of these other ones have, and vice versa. I mean, they all try to make them as close to each other, but like every car has their strengths and weaknesses.
All right. And it also would appear that McNervy and Luis are still in this competition, but they're in a bit of a battle of their own at the moment. But since we're only on lap 6 of 15, these tires really haven't started to go yet. We could definitely see some more shakeups in terms of race positioning. And with Lead and AutoJoe both being in all-wheel drive cars, how long do they have before the ramifications of being in an all-wheel drive take place? TK, do you have any ideas?
I think AutoJoe's the only one in all-wheel drive. The McGann Trophy, the trophy is a MR, so it's the only. I think it's the only mid-engine out there as well. So we got AutoJoe with the all-wheel drive, and then Lead and the MR. And I guess the NSX is an MR as well.
I was just about to say that the NSX is also an MR, but a lot more FRs this time around, from what I'm seeing.
Would appear to be the case, yeah. Yep, trophy is MR. All right, yep. I had to go take a look at what Flawed set up in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a professional, I swear. But as we go back to the racing action, Jersey is holding off Lead Pencil for the time being. Looks like Moose is starting to fall back just a tiny bit. Oh, those hards are really going. Wow.
Wow.
We got a long way to go for that type of tire wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
I think we found a car that's worse on tires than the Mazda 3.
I was just about to say that same
And it's
thing.
it's got a lot to do. He's probably done the most battling of all the drivers. He's had a lot of position changes, a lot of overtakes, and I think in that battling you end up pushing the car around here. We got a lot of mid to high speed corners, so those front tires really do take a lot of abuse.
That they do. Now, when Moose goes into the pits, inevitably, will he go on another set of hards, or will he try and run the mediums? Because if he were to go in right now, he'd have no choice but to hop on the hards, wouldn't he?
Yeah, to make it to the end, yeah. So it just depends. If he can go maybe 3 or 4 more laps and then switch over to some mediums, I think that'd be the call. Maybe softs, but something tells me that the softs wouldn't last more than 3 laps at optimal performance.
All right. So at this rate, for some of these drivers, it's just like yesterday with Leo and the Mazda. You're not really battling the other drivers. You're battling your car's ineptitude.
Oh, as we see
and
McNervy.
McNervy drifting it through the S's. That was actually really nice to see. Honestly, that'd make a pretty good scapes photo. Just to have that set as a thumbnail. But McNervy does wind up losing his position to Luis. They are now 2 wide coming into the hairpin, and Luis is able to make it stick. But will McNervy be able to carry more momentum since he had the bottom line? It would appear not at this very moment. So Luis in his Lexus, oh wow, we have another Lexus. Didn't see that one coming. But Luis in his Lexus is holding off McNervy in the Ferrari for the time being. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And McNervy finds a gap and runs right through. But Luis isn't done yet. Looks like McNervy outbroke himself and understeered. And we've got a battle here, folks. These two are going to be neck and neck for probably another lap or so with how they're going. And McNervy carries some momentum. They are 2 wide on the start-finish straight. If they could finish the race like that, that would be one interesting ending. As they come up into turn 1, looks like McNervy has the inside, and now, looks like Luis just lost a little bit of momentum there, and McNervy was able to take the inside in turn 2. As they make their way down towards the first of 1, 2, 3, one of many straights. Looks like McNervy has the lead, but it's all a game of who can carry the most momentum out of these corners. And at the moment, it would appear it would be McNervy, and could we get a bonnet cam view of Luis just to see what this is looking like from his perspective? All right, and jumping on, and yeah, McNervy is slowly pulling away, but honestly, with how this is going, it might not be for long. Now, Ferrari is looking a little bit on the unstable side, especially over in these S's. So, ooh, getting a little bit of dirt on the tires, but I don't think it was enough to get a penalty. And looks like Luis just had a slightly better run. I think he is just outside that slipstream range, though. So we might not be able to see Luis get him on any of these straights. Coming into the downhill hairpin and running on out. Nothing's really changing. Let's go and take a quick look up at the front of the field and see how they are faring at the moment, because I know it is very tight racing up ahead. All right, so Auto Joe has found a way to break away from Sheld and run a race of his own for the time being. He's at about half life on those tires, and Sheld is in way better standing in terms of tire life. Looks like Sheld has also got a good gap, and we've got two wide racing between Lead Pencil
here we
and
go.
Jersey. Yep, it looks like Jersey just has a little bit more speed in that Corvette, but Lead Pencil has the inside and makes the overtake stick. Will Jersey have a comeback for that? It looks like not at this very moment, so Lead Pencil will trot on up into third. Looks like Lead is just climbing these rankings right now. And moving over into the next corner, Jersey is right on Lead Pencil's derriere. But Lead Pencil will not acquiesce that position, and Jersey will have to find another opportunity to get the overtake to stick. Leo, did you expect to see a Renault climbing through the ranks like this? Because I don't know about you, but Lead's making it look easy at the moment.
That Renault is actually something I've used before, and it's super stable through all the twists and turns. I mean, like I stated earlier, it doesn't have the top end, but it is kind of glued to the ground. I mean, you saw I used it in one of the league races prior, in that the one that flawed and you two were commentating for. I actually really enjoy that car because of how well it can handle a lot of the turns and how stable it is. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Especially in the right hands, you can make that thing do some things that you didn't think were possible.
All right, I can definitely agree to that opinion. Also, I would like to just make mention of the overall top end difference between that Renault and that Corvette. Jersey did have a solid run on Lead, but unfortunately, just due to Lead's positioning, he was able to keep the position defended. So at this rate, it becomes a game of top end versus handling. And honestly, this battle between these two will kind of showcase which one is the better aspect for a car in terms of Group 4 racing. And with the way Lead is now pulling away through some of these twists and turns, oh, and Jersey has gone into the box.
Yep.
Okay. So we've seen our first pit stop. Will it be the only one? The only time will tell. Nope, it will not. As we see Moose go into the pits to get off those hards. 5 laps left.
Those big
Will they
American
both go
V8s
in?
are shredding up the tires, and McNervy goes in as well.
Yep. And McNervy's in the box, and apparently Horn says it's pronounced Renault, but we're going to go with Renault because, well, we're already saying it. And Lead going off, but somehow that is within track limits. PD, help me understand. Help me understand, Kaz. But Lead is now pulling very, very far away from P. Choi, and Luis is now propelled up into P5 with Jersey in P6 as they leave the box. So those medium runners will be able to catch up pretty soon, but is it going to be a glass cannon situation where they can get the speed and the car's just going to obliterate the tires? Or will they be able to hold on long enough to finish these last 5 races, or last 5 laps of these races? Lord, it is, oh, wow, I did not get enough coffee today, did I?
It's okay.
Leo, do some talking. I'm going to sit here.
All right. Well, I know from what I've heard from everybody when they were watching Lead practice, I know that he may be actually going for a no stopper, which is possible in the Renault because it is a decent car on tires. As we see, we're 10 laps in, and You didn't have that much. As we hop on board, oh, back with Shell here in the very bright yellow NSX. I guess he likes his lemon heads. What is with the season in candy and food? I'm trying to figure that out.
Because people like food,
Well, yeah,
obviously.
okay. That's true.
It's a simple answer. Simple answer.
Okay, very true. I mean, gotta eat the thing to survive. So, and
I
apparently
don't
the
think you eat
NSX.
lemons to survive. I
Uh,
think you eat lemons if you have problems.
yeah, it's fair
Or
enough.
you
I
make
mean,
lemonade.
Well,
you make
yeah, but you're not
lemonade.
eating lemonade. Well, frozen lemonade, I guess you
Alright.
eat. What? No,
It's
who?
all going
No, no,
into
no,
your
no.
stomach. You can eat
It is.
liquids. Do you eat or do you
You
drink soup?
That
uh
is the question.
Mm,
you eat the non-brothy parts of soup and then you drink the broth.
okay,
It's
fair enough.
yeah, you consume
You
soup.
consume it.
That is
They're
the yes, that is
consumables.
the yeah, that's the best middle ground there. But that's also asking, do you bite or lick your ice cream?
I bite my ice cream.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like you get a cone from like Cold Stone, you're biting it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been
Because
working
I
with a
have
heretic.
gummy bears in my ice cream, and you got to chew those. You
Oh,
you don't
Okay,
lick
that's
gummy
fair.
bears.
No, but I was talking about like just a regular like plain Jane scoop of ice cream,
Well,
no add-ins.
I'm
Like,
not boring like that.
oh, okay, I can get behind that, Leo.
um, you want me to weigh in on this because I'm the
Yes.
boring guy.
Okay, so
I, I, I,
Leo's boring.
I like my chocolate chip cookie dough, and that's about it.
Yeah, and Flawed says looking for the win. Since this is not an NRL broadcast, I will say that does mean two things, folks. But as we jump on board with Sheld, who is slowly losing ground to Lead, Lead is really just dancing around this track at the moment. Honestly, I think if Lead had found this rhythm during, qualifying, he would have started pole.
Yeah, and he did have the fastest qualifying time, or close to the fastest. He was up at the top when they qualified this weekend. So sometimes, the live qualifying, it's different. It's not just setting a fast lap, there's strategy involved. And Led picks up a penalty. Let's figure out where this penalty is.
Finally.
Yep. We might be able to actually see where the penalty line is. So as we
Oh.
see Sheld coming in, two wheels on the track, not there. And where did you get it at?
Somewhere back there.
I
I
have
think he
no
may have took too
idea.
much of the curb
Yeah, maybe
coming
cut
onto
the
that long
apex.
left-hander. Yeah.
This game makes no sense. No, honestly, it makes no sense. After playing ACC and other race sims with Flawed, like the track limit systems in those sims make sense. But
he just
I
ran
don't know.
really wide there and was okay. I think
Yeah.
it's if you cut in too soon before the sausage curb is where it ends up triggering that track limits. But if you come right at and straddle the sausage curb, you're okay.
We have got to find another term for hopping on the sausage curb because that is not it.
Yeah, it's called hopping on the sausage curb.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is, Toon.
Yeah.
Grow up. Grow up.
No, you grow up. All of you grow up. I'm fine.
You got,
But
turn one
where
at
are
Road
we?
Atlanta sucks you off, and this you hop on the sausage here too early and you get a penalty. It's just what it
Racing
is.
Racing is a very homoerotic sport when we use this terminology.
Sure.
There we go. Have some passionate, intimate racing. Get
There we
sucked
go.
off in turn one at Road Atlanta, straddle that sausage curb, and take it to your grave.
Exactly.
Don't race, don't tell.
So back to
This
the
is
racing.
Yeah, back to the racing again.
Lead Pencil is
Because we
really,
can't.
I mean, even with that penalty,
Yeah.
is still in slipstream of Sheldologists, and I mean, they were the top two drivers in qualifying during the week, so I imagine it's going to finish that way. However, I think Lead is doing better on tires. Yeah, look at those rear tires on Shell
Yeah,
compared to Lead. So Lev's
Yeah,
definitely doing
honestly,
better on tire wear, and is really putting the pressure on now within half a second of um, Shell there, and really just applying all the pressure. This is going to be good as we only have a few laps left. Just making sure no more penalties, as P Choi would like to catch up to them, but just a little too far away to get in slipstream. But if they start battling, that's going to allow P Choi to catch up there, and could make it a three-way battle for the finish. But Lead Pencil's just been in battles with everybody moving up the field.
he has indeed. And I also want to make note that Sheld, I think, is the only driver I've seen, or at least the NSX car might be the only thing I've seen that is actually tearing up those rear tires. Everybody else, from what I saw yesterday, the fronts were absolutely cooked. The rears were fine for the most part, but with the way Sheld's driving his NSX, he is actually getting an even distribution of tire wear in his car, which is interesting. But just due to how Sheld's driving, when him and Lead inevitably battle, Lead will have the tire advantage as they go too wide right now. So
There he goes, gets it
Lead,
done.
yeah, just dances past him like he's standing still. All right, well,
Ooh.
now Lead has to hold. Oh, wait, nope, Sheld has an answer. Okay, we have a battle for the race lead. Will they slow each other up to allow P. Choi to enter the fray? It doesn't look like it at this moment, but they are going to be dancing back and forth between first and second, little door to door, but no actual contact, it would seem. And Led has taken the lead for the time being. And Sheld getting a good run, getting on the apex, and now they're having a drag race to the start-finish line. Oh, this is going to be a good one, folks. As we enter the penultimate lap, we've got Sheld versus Led. Nope, they're staying stubborn. Ooh, a little bit of contact, but it looks like Led did give the way to Sheld.
Oh, look, P. Choi.
P. Choi made it back up.
That's exactly what I was talking about. The two of these start squabbling, and Choi's just going to hop right in there.
Yep. So how is this going to go? Also, I should throw out that Auto Joe on the mediums has started climbing his way back up. So Auto Joe, if he can carry some momentum for this lap into the end of the final lap, we might see a four-way belt for P1. Just throwing that out there. But also looking at Choi's tires,
only one lap left after this one, and I think that P3 might be for the taking here by Auto Joe, because he's on the racing softs. He's on the softs now.
Yeah, he's on the softs, and also his fuel light is on. Is he going to have enough gas to last the rest of the race?
I think Auto Joe will, because here we got Shelled. It's still, I mean, it is red, but it's not all the way down. So I think they're going to be okay. Maybe a few short shifts here and there. Leo, did you have any fuel issues when you did your race?
No, actually, that was something I wasn't super concerned about. I think it's just because it was a 4-cylinder turbo and didn't drink the gas. Yeah.
Auto Joe is all over the back of P. Choi now.
Oh, boy.
Here he goes.
Come on, Godzilla! Come on, Godzilla!
There's only so much you can do when your tires are that cooked.
Yeah.
That is very true. Honestly, with the grip advantage Auto Joe has, I think he could actually just take the outside line and have enough grip. But looks like Auto Joe is going to send it up the inside and take P3. Yep, took P3. But P. Choi is still right there. There is plenty of overlap. So we're going to see a drag race at the end of this. We enter the last lap, going to turn 1 for the 15th time of asking. And it looks like Auto Joe will make the overtake stick. And now he has 2 other drivers to try and contend with. Now, he does have a much lighter car at the moment, and he's also on the racing softs, so it's going to be a doubled effort to defend and keep Auto Joe away from taking the race victory, as everybody runs off into Narnia and comes back onto the track with not even a slap on the wrist, because PD, am I right? Auto Joe is looking like he might be setting himself up to play the long game here and get the overtake done towards the middle to end of this lap.
I love these
Auto
type
Joe,
of races, man. I just love it when it all spreads out and then all comes right back together at the end. It really doesn't get better than this. And I was a little nervous that we wouldn't get this type of treat after everybody watched yesterday's splits, but no reason for me to be nervous now because we're getting treated to one heck of a final lap.
oh yeah, we are. And this
Yes.
downhill hairpin is going to be a defining factor. Led has already jumped onto the defensive line to try and hold off. So it looks like Auto Joe might not be able to make the overtake stick here. And Sheld is trying to send it up the inside, as with Auto Joe, but Led defends it perfectly. But Auto Joe is able to carry enough momentum to get past Sheld. Auto Joe literally only has one last obstacle ahead of him in Lead Pencil. So will he be able to make it stick as they come into the double right-hander? Looks like Led is losing a little bit of time at the moment, and Auto Joe is just laser focused on Led. He is right up his chuff, and looks like Led is doing everything he can to defend.
Ooh.
He is feeling the pressure now. They both run a little bit off, but it would appear there is no ramification.
There it is. We saw it.
Yep.
Oh my lord, he got the pen, which also means that if since we're past the penalty line, Auto Joe's going to get a 1 second penalty for this, and will possibly actually lose the position Sheld as Lead Pencil just barely holds
ran out
on.
of fuel at the end.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness.
Oh
my goodness.
for humanity!
I was wondering why
What
he
a
fell back.
race.
Yeah.
What a race.
Wow.
Well, the penalty didn't matter because he still wasn't able to catch Led, and with Shell running out of gas, it gave him a big enough gap to serve the penalty, and still, what a race.
Yeah,
What
that
a
was
race.
a fantastic race.
GG's.
Fantastic run. But also shows that if Auto Joe was able to get the overtake done, it was a fool's errand just due to that pen.
Yeah.
That is the worst time to get one. And look at Luis's tires. Those are absolutely gonzo.
Yeah, he couldn't make a turn to save his life there at the end, unfortunately.
Well, congratulations to Led, who made 4 position gains to take the race victory. All right, let's go and take a look at those provisional results, shall we? So, taking race victory will be Lead Pencil with a total race time of 32 minutes, 8 seconds, .870. Trailing behind him with an unfortunate 1 second pen, but the fastest lap overall will be Auto Joe with a fastest lap of the race of 204.683. Rounding out our podium will be Godzilla himself, P. Choi, followed by Sheld, Jersey rounding out our top 5, Moose, MK Nervy, and Luis rounding out our racers for this split. What a race we just witnessed, folks, and we are not done yet. T-Case, what'd you think?
Well, I loved it. I absolutely loved that, man. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to not know who was going to finish first. I wanted somebody to move through the field. We saw Lead Pencil work his way up into first. We saw Auto Joe start off in first and then have to pit and then work his way back up. Came down to the start finish line there, and I couldn't be happier.
Leo, what'd you think?
I'm glad we got treated to that because I've seen close racing like that and been in it, but like from what I saw yesterday, I was like, man, this is kind of like spread out. I didn't know, like I was thinking like TK, so I was like, man, this is gonna spread out and it's just gonna be follow the leader. That was probably the most exciting one I've seen so far, and I can't wait to see what these next guys do.
And I should also make note that we got a $4.99 super chat from It's Just Carl. Thank you, Carl. But unlike the NRL, that's going straight to TK and not us. But we appreciate your support, and we're glad you're enjoying the racing so far. Stay
it is
tuned.
greatly appreciated, Carl. Thank you.
Yes.
Yep. There we go. TK deserves all your love and support. But we're going to take a quick intermission, and we'll be back in about 5 or something minutes. So y'all go to the bathroom, get a snack, take your dog out, do your dishes, wash your hands, do something, and we'll be right back at you.
Wheels burn on the track. PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, speeding down the lane. Victor's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Wheels burn on the track. PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, engines roar, we fly. Sweat beading on our brow. Teamwork's the key right now. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victories in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victor's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Wheels burn on the track. PHG is where it's at. Roads long and winding, but our team's always grinding. Underneath the starry sky, engines roar, we fly. Sweat beading on our brow. Teamwork's the key right now. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go. Teamwork keeps our
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are getting ready to do split 2 for the day, split 4 overall for round 2 of the PHG World Series exhibition season. And let's go and take a look one more time at those race settings. So, for those of you just tuning in and don't know what on earth is going on, don't worry. Dear old Papa Toon here is going to hold your hand and walk you through this. We are at Autodrome Lago Maggiore in Italy for 15 laps in a manufacturer-specific Group 4 car. All racing tires are allowed, but the racing hards are required. We have a 5 times fuel burn, 3 times tire wear, and if you just tuned in and didn't see the ending to the last race, please do yourself a favor. Watch that race after this broadcast has concluded. But anyway, let's make our way over to the next slide, shall we? So here are the overall qualifying times for Split 4 from the midweek qualifiers on Tuesday and Thursday. So fastest for Split 4 was K-Dub 47, followed by Duke, Horn, Tennyson, Nasty, BHR's Johnny Boy, BHR's Fernando Button, Jack Skellington, PHG Will's brother. So Will, your brother's here. PHG, it's just Carl in the Toyota, followed by T. Calvert, followed by Don Squad, and then 2 open slots for any absolute last-minute entries. So we've got a pretty solid grid here. Let's hope we can have just as equal of a solid turnout. And guys, given the close racing and the penalty upset that finished Split 3, TK, do you think we're going to be getting some more close racing this go around?
Yeah, I really think so. I think the strategy is gonna be car specific. The cars that can make their tires last. So a lot of these MR cars, I'm gonna imagine they're gonna go for that no stopper, and any of the FR, FF, or all-wheel drive cars are probably gonna have to pit. We might see a few still pit, even if they are in the MR type car. And then, as we saw, fuel is a factor. Fuel is a factor.
Alrighty, fuel is a factor, tires are a factor. Leo, what do you think we're going to be seeing?
You know, more or less the same. Maybe some different stuff. I mean, I see a few more MR cars, like TK was pointing out, especially in the Porsches and.
We got Supra, which is FR. We got the Ferrari, which is MR. The Cayman MR. Couple Caymans. We got a Viper.
Ooh,
FR.
that's
another
bold.
Ferrari. Another Mustang, which is rear-wheel drive. So several Caymans. Don Squad in the SLS. And who is in the G70? T. Calvert in the G70.
T. Calvert, yeah.
And I think we
All
might
right.
have game audio back.
It sounded like it.
Sounded like it. I do apologize, y'all. For some reason this morning, things just didn't want to work right. So hopefully we can have game audio this whole time. I did unplug and plug back in a bunch of stuff. So sometimes, you know, that's just what you got to do. Hard reset. So we'll see if it holds out this whole stream.
Oh,
All right, as we jump on
Yes,
board.
titanium, too cold. I'm blaming it on the cold, wet weather we're having here in Texas.
agreed. Too cold
Okay.
indeed. But it sounds like we got game audio back.
Yep, that we do. As we jump on board with Fernando Button and the Mustang, which, as we saw in the last split, was not the best option, but I guess it is an option. Coming in on his outlap, it's going to be real interesting to see how this one outlap is going to affect those racing soft tires, especially in a hot qualifying session.
Toon, I have something to note about Fernando's livery here. Created by Shamsi Design, and it is reflecting the late 60s, early 70s Penske Donahue racing liveries in the Trans Am and IMSA racing for Sunoco. Just a neat little tip there about Fernando's livery. Looks great.
It does.
It does look great.
I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, that is, it's vintage, yet it doesn't look dated.
Oh yeah,
now at this rate,
you know, that new modern vintage design.
Yeah, you know, very
oxymoron there. What's the
Yeah.
term?
I don't know. Either way, now we're just gonna sit here and admire it like we're standing in an art gallery. I wonder what the artist was thinking when he was doing every layer of this livery. You can really see the sorrow and the heartache in this artist's design. It's a really evocative piece.
Evocative, yes. It
Yeah.
evokes feelings of nostalgia whilst you know, pulling me towards the future. I don't know. It's existential yet so accessible.
That's a lot
It
of big words.
it really leads you to wonder, was it really a much simpler time back then? Or was it a tougher time just due to its inherent challenges? And no time is really simpler as time progresses, because time itself is but a concept.
Indeed. And you know, it's all relative, really, when you think about it, because they say ignorance is bliss, and back in the day, people were a lot more ignorant about the world and what was going on, because the amount of information they were able to consume on a daily basis was very, very limited.
I could definitely see that. The access to information, the technology of the time, you were still relying on black and white television, old radios that you had to fiddle with the rabbit ears, and you had to read the paper to get the latest and greatest, even though the media has an inherent bias towards the working class. It really shows the rise of the proletariat through the generations. Leo, are you following any of this?
No, I'm uncultured. I don't know what the heck y'all are going on.
Toon, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Well done.
Thank you.
I was just gonna go cars go vroom. That's all I was gonna say.
One of these things is not like the others.
Oh,
Steven
runs wide there. That's going to dirty up his tires, ruin his lap. Might also hinder Nasty coming up, coming up behind. Let's see if Steven gets out of the way. Beautiful livery there, both by Steven. I know Steven created that livery, and then Nasty with the PHG Ferrari going in there. Looks like Steven lets him go by, and they can carry on without too much, as Fernando should be crossing the line for his first flying lap. See what kind of time he can put down.
It looks like that Mustang really held onto the tires for the one lap, but it's not a matter of if, but when. So it also, with a 207 hot lap, will anybody have a response? And it looks like Nasty with a 206. I think that Mustang really reflects human nature at this point. There's destruction and beauty at the same time. But unfortunately, it is a Mustang, so beauty is really not there. So it is just destruction. I think this goes to show that humanity is on a downward trend, and the Mustang and that livery show that the 60s was the precursor to the life we live now. So for those that say, oh, this generation is screwed, no, you were screwed. Thank you for watching. God bless. Good night.
I was just gonna say it looks like it was looking for a crowd, but you know, that's a timeless joke.
It is. Also, is that Timmy from freaking
Yes.
South Park
Yes,
on the
it
side of
is.
the car?
Yes, it is.
Timmy! All right, so as we jump on board in Johnny Boy with 23 flavors of not setting pole in his Dr. Pepper livery, he is now coming into turn 2 and holding it nice and neat. We've still got just a little bit over 4 minutes. So if anybody wants to hop in the pits and take another gander on some fresher tires, now is probably your prime opportunity to do it.
Right around that 4-minute mark is when we'll start looking and going into the pits to get on them fresh tires, just so that way they can set their best flyer that they can.
All right. Also, T-Case, I'm getting word from production that there's a request to turn the game audio up. Is that a possibility?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm doing
and
it
there
right
it is.
now. Is that loud enough? I can go higher.
I'd say that's good. I think it's
Cars
getting to the
go-
point to where they want the cars to drown out our ramblings.
Probably enough chatter. More vroom vroom. What do cars go, Leo?
Vroom vroom.
Until they go.
No, there's usually a long knocking period of it sounds like it's coming apart and then it comes apart.
Yeah, I mean, if you drive it forward.
Hey,
I'm telling you that.
Thunder in P3. Didn't even notice he was in here. When you say his name, you got to channel Bonesaw from the first Spider-Man movie. You're going nowhere.
Wasn't that Randy Savage?
It was Randy Savage.
Here we have Duke Thunder coming across the line.
Duke Thunder P2.
Keith Brody, Fernando Button, getting further up into the podium. Fernando will not be happy about this. And my voice is very raspy now. My throat is getting scratchy. I'm going to enjoy my beverage. I hate you for doing this. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, looks like Fernando is on a fresh set of racing softs, so he has just enough time to get another flying lap in and maybe get an answer to Nasty's 206.3. Yeah. Yep, it's a Saturday. I'm not here. Leo, thoughts on, Dawn Squad in P5 at the moment and back into the pits. Well, looks like McNaughty has some company with Team AMG in Dawn Squad. Let's see if we can have 2 days of making magic happen with the AMR, and looks like, or AMG, wow, yeah, hi guys, I'm here, and K-Dub with a 206.2, or what was that, 204.2?
206.
206.2, thank you, sorry, it's a little blurry on my end, so. But K-Dub in, that is the Viper, yeah?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Is K-Dub the only one that signed with Dodge?
I think so.
I believe so, yeah.
Huh.
That seems to be correct.
All right. Well, a very unexpected car choice from K-Dub, but it looks like it might benefit him. We know what the Corvette's like on tires. We know what the Mustang's like on tires. Does anybody have an idea what the Viper's like?
It's going to be similar to those two.
Yeah.
All right. Also, I want to make note that McNaughty is cheering on his AMG teammate with cherries in the chat.
All the cherries for Dawn Squad.
It's amazing how members of these communities have just found different things to kind of symbolize them. Hector with the women dancing, you with the rainbow leopards, Dawn Squad with the cherries, McNaughty with crown time. It just, everybody's got their shtick, and I love to see it.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. What's best is how it all comes about. Like if you heard McNaughty talk about where the crown came from. I don't know where the cherries come from other than that's what Dawn Squad throws in there. And you're right, Hector always comes in with a woman dancing, woman dancing, woman dancing. Mine came from the way the chat reader would read people when they would do the fist in chat, it would say oncoming fist and then say the skin tone they selected. So I wear rainbow leopard gloves, so that's where the oncoming fist rainbow leopard came from.
The more you know, folks.
The more you know. And it looks like K-Dubs is part of the PHG Bravo Sentinels. Leo, that is your team, I believe, correct?
It is. It is. I am one of the team managers of it. There's a lot of us there because that's mainly where our group lies, is in the B-rated drivers and below. But don't count them out because they can sometimes do amazing things.
Yep, there are some drivers that only do lobby races and they don't do daily, so their driver rating does not actually reflect their skill. As we also jump on board with Nasty, who is wrapping up this qualifying session on his final lap, getting a 2-minute in the last turn. Will it be enough to take a pole position from K-Dub? And it is! Yep. Look at that! Woo! Last minute buzzer beater. Wow. You love to see it. You know Tune's in the house because we get stuff like that.
There we go.
Alrighty. Now that
Steven making an improvement there as well.
Hey.
Yep, in a Minions inspired Porsche.
Porsche.
I don't know what makes it.
Porsche.
Yeah, Porsche. Porsche. Jeez.
Porsche.
And so Duke's in the pits. Let's see. Carl has finished in his Toyota.
That's is that a Ninja Turtles livery?
I
Pennzoil.
What did it show there on the side? Oh, I don't have my key commands pulled up anymore.
Hold on. Yeah, it's a Ninja
Nope,
Turtles.
it's Ninja Turtles.
Ninja
I
Turtles.
like it though.
I like Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant.
Teenage Mutant
All right, let's look at these qualifications.
Sure, let's go and do that. So, taking pole position at the last possible second will be PHG Nasty in the Ferrari 458 Italia with a 206.187, dethroning PHG K-Dub in that Group 4 Viper with a 206.216. Making our way to the down the grid, rounding out our top 3 for the starting grid will be S. Tennyson in that Porsche Cayman, followed by Duke, and then Fernando Button rounding out our top 5. Making our way down the grid, we have It's Just Carl, Johnny Boy, T. Calvert, and is there a second page?
Yep, I wasn't paying attention.
Alrighty, Dawn Squad and Geezer Gears, who decided to not qualify.
Maybe a late entry on that point. So the way the late entries work is, you know, if you don't happen to qualify throughout the week, you go to whatever and unfortunately don't get to qualify for your position in the race.
Okay, so we do have a wild card in Geezer Gears then.
Yeah. Turtle.
Yep. Turtle Shell with a last to first challenge from as stated by Shaggy Doo. So this is going to be an interesting one, no less. Now, I think that should cover that as we wait for the race to get started. Anybody got any predictions for what's going to lie in store? Do we have any, you know, off the wall picks that we think might shine in this competition for this split?
I'm thinking. Go for it, Leo.
I'm gonna go with K-Dub with that Viper just because I haven't seen anybody else use it. I think he's gonna do something kind of crazy, but who knows until we see it.
And here we go.
All right,
0 seconds until final start. Yeah, I'm curious to see how the SLS and the Super do. We haven't really seen those today, and should be interesting how well they do on the tire wear.
Yeah. Also, kind of excited to see what Turtle does from the back.
Yeah, Turtle definitely has an uphill challenge, but it should be A-okay.
For some reason,
Now,
it showed Calvert as P1, even though he's back in.
Okay.
$1 billion company.
Weird lobby thing.
Yep.
Classic
Yep,
Gran Turismo.
all of it. Yeah. With a blue flag on the field. Okay.
Just to let everybody know, I'm not in the lobby, so I didn't cause this.
Yeah.
Oh, they went back to normal.
Oh, okay, we're good.
Oh. Alright, so we got Nasty on the hards. We got K-Dub on the hards. And, ooh, Duke Thunder runs wide there. Steven on the hards. And Duke on the racing medium, so Duke is for sure going to make a pit stop.
Yep.
As the field spread out, and Fernando's going for some moves. He's also on the hards. And apparently it's normal in the lobby, it's just a weird spectator issue.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm glad everything got rectified and we are able to just get back to racing. And as we've got Johnny Boy and Fernando, both part of Team Beehive Racing, Wazakaka to both of them, we're going to have to see if they're going to cooperate or if they're going to get a little greedy and just try and fight for positions. Also, TKs, please turn your microphone up.
Oh yeah, I moved away from my mic for a second and was still talking. My sincerest apologies.
Thank you, McNaughty. You are a credit to broadcasting as a whole, and we all love you. Now, as we keep an eye on Fernando, can we get a bumper cam view of this?
We sure can.
Ooh, and Carl went real wide. Ooh, cockpit works. Yeah, bonnet cam works. All right, so as we see, Fernando is trying to maintain pace and stay up on Johnny Boy. Honestly, these two BHR drivers would find it in their best interest to try and drive cooperatively as opposed to competitively. as they make their way onto the start-finish straight to start lap 2 of 15. Johnny Boy is pulling away from that Mustang at this very moment, and we're going to have to see if Fernando will try and get cute with it, or if he's just going to try and find his momentum before he tries to pull any heroics. Getting up onto the curb into turn 1, and getting onto the apex for turn 2 and belting it out. Looks like Johnny Boy might have had a slightly better run, but it's hard telling at this moment. Now, jumping back onto the Dr. Pepper mobile, we're seeing that Johnny Boy is, pulling away from Fernando at this moment. I think the Porsche is going to have that Mustang in terms of handling because, well, it's a Mustang, so it's really only got straight line, but does that even apply to Gran Turismo, TKs?
You know what? Who could say? Who could say?
All right.
It's all getting thrown out the window today.
Yes, it has.
Don't have expectations, folks. You'll only find disappointment. Now, as we jump back on board with Nasty, who is really pulling away from K-Dub at the moment, looks like Nasty is going to be setting a 107 through the time check, and looks like has it over. Yeah, he's just dancing away from K-Dub at this moment. So maybe that Ferrari just has better pacing. Maybe it's just the driver, or maybe Nasty is running a little too hard, because I know this is, by all technicalities, a sprint race. It's not the last lap. You might want to conserve your tires a little bit and, try and conserve a little bit of fuel, lest you wind up like two drivers in the last split and be trying to cross the line on fumes. Oh, Tennyson going real wide, but I don't think that's the penalty one.
No, that's going to allow Duke to get through, though. Let's take a look at that again.
Duke, the self-proclaimed God of Thunder. As we see them coming in through the first part of the double right-hander, just ran wide, and Duke was able to hold on and, of course, respectfully leave space for his fellow competitor. As they come into turn 1, Duke missing the apex by a little bit. And will he be able to rectify that issue on the second one? Nope, just missed the apex on that one, but it looks like Tennyson was able to hit both apexes and close that gap up just a tiny bit. Leo.
Duke is on the mediums and Tennyson is on the hard, so there is a tire advantage / disadvantage there. So we know for sure Duke is going to have to pit, as it looks like Fernando just gets by. Nope, he was already ahead. Okay.
Well, I mean, Fernando got the overtake done. He made it stick. So hats off to him in that regard. But Johnny Boy is definitely far from out in this competition. We're only a fifth of the way through this race. It's a guessing game. You could say, for all we know, Calvert will fight his way up from 8th to 1st, or we could say lobby crashes. There's literally any possibility here. So if you think it could happen, it could happen. Will it? We don't know. You'll have to watch and find out. As we see Fernando coming into the downhill hairpin, he is getting onto the apex and trying to carry as much momentum as possible. And looks like he was able to sort of close the gap to Tennyson and maybe pull away from Johnny Boy. It's hard telling. Let's go and cycle through the grid a little and see if we've got any side-by-side action at this juncture. Doesn't appear to be so at the moment, and that is A-OK. Don Squad in that very nice blue Mercedes.
What a gap.
We jump back on board.
2-second
yeah,
gap.
Nasty is really pulling away, but to what avail? Because he might wind up over pushing that car, and we could be seeing, a Ferrari losing not only its tires but its fuel. And I would hope that the drivers were paying attention to the last split. That way it may serve as a cautionary tale of sorts. And Leo, with how you see Nasty driving, do you think he can maintain this momentum for the entirety of the race, or do you think he's going to have to start taking it easy towards the tail end?
I would assume he's going to have to start taking it easy towards the tail end. 100% sure on how the Ferrari does on tires, per se. But if he's pushing it this hard to create that gap this early, he may overcook them tires if he's planning on doing a one stop or a no stop, which I don't think I've seen any of the other Ferrari guys try. So I personally would probably slow it down a little bit, cool them off, keep the tires on YouTube for doing that. If not, keep pushing until you're ready to go in the pits.
Yeah, he keeps setting purple sector time, so he's flying. He's used a quarter tank of fuel, and we're, you know, about a quarter of the way through the race. Yeah, you might be trying to build up a big enough gap so that, you know, it's not an issue with pitting, or he can then take it easy in the second half of the race and allow himself a little bit of a cushion.
Yeah. Or might be
that
building up that gap to get a free pit stop.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to have to really push that car then, and he's going to have to drive as perfectly as possible, just due to the fact that the pit could run you anywhere from 18 to 22 seconds, and a lot can happen in racing in that span of time. Hell, a lot can happen in just even half a second for racing. But as we see Duke catching up to K-Dub, it's going to be a big game of Porsche versus Dodge, Germany versus America. I feel like I've seen how that ends in a book before, but actually I've seen how it ends twice in a book. So as we see K-Dub trying to drive defensively, Duke is really closing that gap. At what point do they realize they need to work together to try and close the gap to P1? Because we haven't really seen too terribly much drivers, you know, assisting each other to try and catch up with the rest of the field. It may have happened off screen, but we just haven't, like, physically seen it ourselves. As we see Duke make the overtake on K-Dub, and he's going to be waving in his rear view mirror. Bye, have a beautiful time, see you later.
Say Duke is on the tire advantage. He's on the mediums, but they're starting to show already. We're only on lap 5. If I remember correctly, K-Dub's on the hard, so he may be playing the long game.
Yes, you are correct. K-Dub is on the hards. And what is he looking like fuel-wise? A little bit more fuel consumed in that big old Viper.
Yep, V10.
Is it a V10?
It is a V10.
I thought that one was a V8.
No, the Viper's always been a V10.
Ah, the engine that they don't make anymore.
Yeah. Same with the car.
Yeah,
you could get a truck. You could get a Ram with that same V10 in it for a little bit. That thing was crazy.
Oh man,
SRT10 pickup.
Yeah, and you could get it in a stick too.
That's a recipe for disaster. I think that should be Dodge's slogan, in my personal opinion. Dodge, a recipe for disaster.
There you go. Hey, I've heard their company's looking for new people.
I thought their slogan was Dodge. We're gonna make you buy a Chrysler.
Woo, we got a three-way battle here.
Hey.
Yep, three-way battle between Tennyson, Johnny Boy, and Geezer Gears. Looks like Turtle is definitely clawing his way up the ranks. And it would appear that Tennyson is flashing his headlights, saying hi to the camera to the loved ones back home. Now it looks like Johnny Boy is going to try and set up an overtake, but Tennyson is still trying defensively. Johnny Boy trying to make a maneuver to the inside, but wasn't able to do anything about it. And he's also going to be careful because Turtle Shell is a very fast driver in his own right. And they really have nothing to go off of in terms of Turtle's racing abilities because he didn't qualify.
Oh, the unknown factor there.
And in case our viewers aren't aware, Geezer Gears is also known as Turtle Shell. So as we call him Turtle Shell, we are referring to Geezer Gears.
Yep, that we are indeed. And also, he does like turtles. He says that every time he pops into chat.
Oh, we got a little rubbing there. Oops.
Yep. looks like Turtle
Easy
will
Gears
be
gets
overtaken
ahead
by
of Johnny Boy.
Making that move.
And did that say dive bomb on the hood?
No, Drive Orange.
Drive
Ah.
orange?
Good new saying.
I'm not for those.
Neither
Turtle
am I.
Power.
Ah,
All right. Fair enough.
he's turtle enough for the Turtle Club.
I also see Shaggy on the back window. Can we get a chase cam view and take a look at his livery? I want to dissect this. So we've got Papa, we've got Shaggy, we've got, what else have we got here? PHG logo.
That's a cool PlayStation orb.
Oh, hey.
Oh yeah, that is.
Very nice.
Powered by Old Fart.
Ah. Okay.
Looks good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all livery. Definitely one of the more lively liveries in this split. As we take a look over at Duke, who is currently trying to catch up to Nasty. They're both going to have to pit, so Duke's going to wind up on the hards, and Nasty will probably jump over to the mediums unless he runs this for most of the race, and then could just see him hop on the softs and try and finish it that way. You know,
Like we saw with Auto Joe.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's still too soon to tell, but Fernando is up in the P4 at the moment, and that Mustang is definitely chewing through those tires as we speak. So we will more than likely see Fernando go into the box as well.
Yeah, he's keeping them under him pretty well, though, actually.
He is definitely doing well to conserve those tires. We've seen
Easy
Henderson
Gears.
and
Up on Tennyson. Wow. Yeah, he's moving and grooving. That's for sure.
Even getting a look at this, so Beaver Gears flying up and little DoorDash, but nothing really to write home about, and Beaver Gears gets right through. So Beaver Gears is definitely trying to pull a last to first today. Will we see it? Well, we got still half the race to go, so maybe. Oh, how would you guys react to a last to first? Hold on, wait a sec. Now that we're speaking of like league races and last to first, didn't we see somebody in NRL do a last to first?
Yes. I can't
Who
remember
won?
who, though.
I can't remember a race that we just watched, let alone go all the way back to an NRL race.
That's
okay. Was it Lewis?
Oh, that sounds right. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody will let us know.
It's been 105 days.
It's only been.
Oh, yeah, only. But moving back over to Fernando in P4, looks like he might not be able to close the gap up to K-Dub at the moment. K-Dub is definitely doing the best he can with what he's got. Actually, hold on, TKs, can we get a comparison of K-Dub's tires to that Mustang's?
Yeah. So, ooh, Mustang's looking a bit worse.
Yeah.
Those fronts. The rears look fine. Actually, it's not that big of a difference. Fuel looks like Fernando's burnt off more fuel than K-Dub has, though.
Yeah. Well, that could be due to that Mustang being a high revving V8 and that Viper being a V10 and its low rev RPM range.
Do you really think GD had the foresight to take that into consideration? Yeah, that's what
No. In real life, though, yes. In this,
In real life,
I have
yeah,
no
sure.
clue.
Let's see how Nasty's doing up front tires as Duke is getting a little bit closer, almost in slipstream.
Yeah, he's hunting down pretty good.
Yep, those mediums are definitely doing him all the favors in the world right now. But Duke at the very least has to pit. Nasty with half a tank of fuel and just over half life on tires, maybe actually doesn't need to pit.
he could make it to the end. It's just going to be that last lap's going to be a struggle, and that's where we run into what we saw at the end as Duke Thunder goes in. There he goes, where we run into cars on fresh tires pushing versus cars on dead tires trying to defend.
It looks like Tennyson has gone into the box as well. Geezer Gears has climbed all the way up from 10th to 4th and is definitely far from done. Nasty is... I think Nasty is probably going to try and do a no-stop, judging by just the factors of his tire and his fuel. But we could also see him try and pull away a little further, go in box, and hop on the softs.
So it looks like we had 3 drivers go into the pits. One being Duke Thunder going from mediums to hards, and the other 2 going from hards to mediums.
Okay. What was it, Leo?
I was actually going to say, on Nasty, he has slowed his time down a lot. Like, look at the times that he's been putting in. He's been slowing it down to conserve them tires, it looks like.
Build a lead and then just slow yourself down, let them get closer to you, but build a big enough lead that by the end of the race you're still ahead. That's the goal, at least.
Yeah. Let's see if we can make it happen, because he does have K-Dub behind him now.
Does have K-Dub behind him, but it looks like hold on. How are K-Dub's tires compared to Nasty? Not even.
Yeah.
So it seems like the Viper isn't quite as bad on tires as we had originally thought.
Yeah.
No, you're not. But we also have to take fuel into consideration.
Indeed.
K-Dub's just under half. Okay, yeah. Turtle is just zooming right now. And his Ferrari, so... Honestly, I think Turtle might be able to pull off this last to first. We still got 6 laps left, and he's closing in on Fernando. So... I don't know, it's hard telling at the moment, but we've also got Duke and Johnny Boy right now going 2 wide down the start-finish straight. And since they're in the same car, there's really no chance of a drag racing overtake.
The difference is the tire wear there.
Yeah.
Johnny Boy has not pitted, going for the no-stop, and Duke pitting for fresh hard. So while they are on the same tire and in the same car, towards the end of this race, Duke is definitely going to have more grip.
Yeah, that he will, and I don't know if anybody may have gotten a couple drops of fuel in there as well, just to try and give a little bit of padding towards the end of the race. But yeah, Duke is definitely in a better position in the long term. But at the moment, Johnny Boy does have fully heated up hard tires, which, I mean, they're still hard tires, but I mean, they're heated up, so
yeah.
Johnny Boy's kind of built the rhythm.
He's been out the longest. I don't know about y'all, but I find myself when I go in the pits and come out, it's hard to get back in that rhythm again.
Yeah. I would agree with that, Leo.
Yeah.
Especially when you come out into traffic like this and you're having to jump right back into it. You're not able to just ease yourself. But a great move up the inside by Duke Thunder.
Hey. Duke Thunder.
Duke was able to make the overtake stick on the inside of the hairpin, and now we'll have to see if Duke can start pulling away. Doesn't appear to be so at the moment, but then again, this is Cayman versus Cayman, and between these two, it just comes down to driver skill and, the tires, fuel tank, and the wind, and the breakfast,
And Fernando
and
going
all
into
these other
pits.
factors. And Fernando has gone into the box to get off those hards on that Mustang. 5 laps left. Would
I'd
5
say-
laps be enough to run those mediums?
I think you can go to the softs. You think?
Yeah, he could go for the softs, possibly. 4
I
laps
wouldn't.
is pushing it. 5 laps is definitely pushing on the softs.
All right,
He
Fernando
goes
on
on the
medium.
mediums. Yep.
Coming out in P7, so he's got some work to do, but he is going to be on the quicker tire. But he's got traffic to get through, and I mean, if Duke and Johnny Boy can fight a little more, that'll allow Fernando to catch up with them. But it's looking like Duke is pulling away and just kind of towing Johnny Boy behind on these straights.
One thing with Fernando going into the pits, Geezer Gears is now up into P3.
Oh yeah. And he's still got 13 seconds to close between himself and K-Dub, but he's got 4 laps to do it. We saw Hector really obliterate, you know, time gaps in last night's racing. So honestly, Geezer Gears could definitely pull this off. Just needs to keep his head down and focus. 4 laps left, plenty of tire life, plenty of fuel. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know how Geezer Gears could run out of fuel at this point, just given how much he has left. I don't know if he was taking it easy or what the deal is, but now he can just absolutely send it for the remaining laps. But it looks like he's losing a little bit of time off his fastest lap. And also, speaking of fastest lap, it would appear Tennyson at the moment has the fastest lap at a 207.522. If he can maintain that, that's what, an extra 5 points?
Yes.
Indeed, and it's because he's went onto the medium tires, so it's allowing him to pump out these faster laps. And Fernando with a half-second penalty, which it doesn't seem like the penalty hurts you too bad on this layout.
Yeah. It's actually not bad if you get a penalty. It may seem like it, but
unlike last week, where
Yeah.
Daytona you get a penalty, and I mean half a second turns into 3 seconds. It seems like.
Yeah. Yeah, this one goes by quick for some reason. I guess because it's in that somewhat long straight, but not really.
It's going down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
get the
true.
momentum.
Like, you're not carrying as much momentum into that hairpin, but you're still carrying enough to where the penalty doesn't hurt you as bad. If we see Tennyson going off and not getting a pen because, well, I've already stated it plenty of times before. Fernando with a half-second pen will not be able to catch up to Tennyson at this moment because, well, he's still got to go through the penalty line. And we've got 3 laps left. And this grid is honestly more spread out than the last one.
It really is.
Yeah.
We'll see it. We'll see it start to cluster up. It just depends on how much progress. Not Johnny Boy, Duke. How much progress Duke can make on those hards. If he can catch up to Geezer Gears, we might get to see a battle for third.
He very well might, and if Geezer Gears can keep his pace going, we might see a battle for P2 between himself and K-Dub. But right now it looks like Duke has about a 6-second-ish gap between himself and Geezer Gears to close, with only 3 laps to do it, so there's going to have to be some really on-point driving. And actually, if we go back up towards the front, are K-Dub and Nasty right on top of each other?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, just about. All right, we've got some action, folks. Oh, K-Dub's tires are toast.
And
Geezer
Geezer
Gears
goes in.
going to the pit.
Oh man.
He thought he maybe.
Oh.
I think he's going in. We see this a lot in F1 when you realize that it's not there for you to get the position
boy.
you're wanting. Go into the pits at the end, put on softs, and get that fastest lap points.
That's fair. And looks like Geezer Gears is on the soft, so it's going to be an F1 for that, folks. And K-Dub, are Nasty's tires just as more? Yep, okay.
Yeah.
So they're in the same boat. So it would appear that in terms of tire wear, the Ferrari and the Viper are on level playing fields. But then it just becomes a case of who's worse off with fuel. Because Nasty is at about a quarter of a tank, and K-Dub is at about a quarter of a tank.
Yeah. They're about the
Okay.
same. Nasty a little bit worse for wear.
Okay, so K-Dub might be able to pull something off if you can stay up on Nasty. Alright, well, this should be interesting. So K-Dub is currently going up the hill and getting onto the curbing, trying to carry some speed. Honestly, with the way the tire model is, do you think those two should have boxed?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda at this point.
Yeah, right.
They do have a almost 21-second gap, which is nice. So as long as they can keep it on track, we got a couple more laps here. I think they're gonna be okay in P1 and P2. It might come down to who makes a mistake in those final laps to maybe allow KW to make a move on Nasty, but they both seem to be in rough shape there.
Yeah. At this
Actually,
rate,
both
it's
of
going
their
to be...
tires are going to be dead.
Yeah, they're both going to be dead, but whose tires are going to die first? K-Dub running a little bit off the track, but bringing it back on shouldn't incur any infringements. And it looks like K-Dub's tires might die before Nasty's.
Yeah. Well, Nasty's rear tires are actually worse than K-Dub's rear tires. So we might see maybe a bit of oversteer on corner exit somewhere. Since he's not running traction control or anything like that, we might see a couple little wiggles, which really lose you a lot of time. But he has pulled the gap, so I think he was holding a little bit of pace in his pocket there, and is trying to pull away a little bit. I'm gonna go back and see what Geezer Gears is doing as far as his attempts to set the fastest lap.
Looks
See if we can
like
get a second
he's not on the
time.
outline.
Yep, he's gone purple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Geezer Gears get a fastest lap, which is good points. P6 is not bad. He's not far behind Fernando. But we are quickly running out of laps.
We are, and what's going on in terms of Fernando and Tennyson? So they're back to battling, and it looks like Tennyson is just barely holding off Fernando.
As
But
he goes
Tennyson
purple.
is on the hard, isn't he?
Yes.
Tennyson is on, no, they're both on mediums.
Oh.
Okay.
Fernando's going for it.
And he
He
made it
gets
stick.
the move done. Watch this run down the hill. He sets his purple sector, tucked into the slipstream. And when you're this close, I mean, it just sets you up perfectly. Just be a little later on the brakes. You get to use all the inside curve there. Make sure you don't run wide. And beautiful. Textbook, as they say.
Yep, a textbook overtake, and Fernando is purple, but I think that Geezer Gears might be more purple at the moment.
And Geezer Gears is really catching up. We saw him there in the background, putting the pressure on. Going to be an exciting final lap, as the leaders are already on the final lap, and still within a second of each other. And they still have a
fuel
good,
lights on.
good 20-second gap. So we'll be able to
Geezer
watch
Gears
this
got fast
finish
time.
and then jump back to Duke, Fernando, and them and check their finish.
Sounds like a plan. So, as we go through this lap for one final time for the day, it looks like K-Dub is definitely staying on top of Nasty, and both their tires are just, well, they're shot. So, it's going to be a game of who is going to make the first mistake. Because if K-Dub makes a mistake, Nasty wins. If Nasty makes a mistake, K-Dub could possibly win. Actually, now that they just crossed the penalty line, if Nasty makes a mistake, K-Dub wins. Just by how close K-Dub is to Nasty.
Yep.
So, you cannot afford a mistake at this moment. Like, you need to bring it home, and everything will be hunky-dory. If you don't bring it home, yep. And if you don't make it, or you don't make it home in one piece, then, well, there's always next round, right?
Exactly.
It seems Nasty is definitely trying to baby those tires as much as possible. His rears are certainly worse for wear than K-Dubs are. So as we near the tail end of this lap, I think this is the make or break moment for Nasty. Will he get a penalty or will he be able to hold on? And it looks like he will hold on. And with that, Nasty has taken the race victory with the no stop in the Ferrari, and the tires just held on. Well done to Nasty and K-Dub for some great racing. We make our way over to Duke. He is in a league of his own right now. And now we've got Fernando, Tennyson, and Geezer Gears all bunched up. But it looks like as this comes to a close, nobody will be able to make a last-minute effort to try and get a position. So Fernando will take P4, and it looks like Tennyson will take P5, with Geezer Gears taking P6.
And currently fastest lap for Geezer Gears.
Yep. Fastest lap for Geezer Gears. Let's see if Johnny Boy can pull something off here in the last moment. And nope, no fastest lap here, but a healthy P7 finish. Making our way over to Don Squad in that AMG, climbing the ranks and taking P8 all for himself, flashing the headlights to those at home. Here we have Carl with plenty of tire life left, but looks like the fuel was just not in his favor. He will come and take a P9 for his efforts. Leaving Calvert in the Timmy to Timmy. And Timmying across the line.
Woo! What a race.
Yeah.
Yep, what a race indeed. Pole position and clean race for Nasty. All right, let's go look at the provisional results, shall we? So taking the race victory will be Nasty, with K-Dub trailing by just over half a second, actually just over 3/4 of a second, my apologies, with Duke Thunder rounding out our podium, followed by Fernando Button and S. Tennyson rounding out our top 5. Taking P6 and fastest lap will be Geezer Gears, with the fastest lap of the race being a 2:06.683, followed by Johnny Boy, Don Squad, Carl, and then Timmy in P10.
How about that?
I was on point for that one.
Yeah, you were.
Alrighty. Well, that one was a nice little ego boost. So with that, gentlemen, let's start with split 1, driver of the race.
For me, split 1, it's I mean, much like the race yesterday. I'm gonna go with Lead Pencil. He moved up the field quite a bit and made it work. So not only did he pull off the no stopper with Auto Joe all over the back of him there at the end, he did it from a less than ideal starting position on the grid.
I can see that. Leo?
We'll go with Auto Joe for split 1. I mean, he showed a dominant showing and then had to pit because of the all-wheel drive system, which I don't think that was on his fault, but hey, it is what it is. But still climbed his way back up and hunted down that P1.
All right. I think I'm going to have to give split 1 to Lead, just for, biting, scratching, and clawing his way all the way up. That was just very well done.
It really was a flawless drive.
It was. And making our way over to split 2, who are the drivers?
For me, on split 2, I'm going to go with Duke Thunder.
Okay. Leo?
I'm going to go with Geezer Gears, starting at the back and climbing all the way up.
Getting that fastest lap, too.
Yes, that too.
See, I thought about giving mine to Geezer Gears, too, just for the valiant effort. But honestly, if he had stayed out of the pits, he might have been able to secure another couple positions.
Yeah.
Something was telling me if Turtle had stayed out, he would have done it. So I'm going to have to give it to... You know what? Screw it. Let's give it to K-Dub Viper.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
That's a good...
Fair enough.
We can't always agree, right?
Right.
Yep.
I mean, that was going to be my other choice if someone didn't take Geezer. That was going to be my other one, just for simply using a vehicle I haven't even seen in dailies.
Yeah, the
Be
group
used.
4, the group 4 Viper, you don't see it.
No, we don't. So, closing thoughts from you, TKs?
This was a lot of fun, as always. I do apologize for some of the audio issues we were having. hopefully those get sorted out going forward. But I had a great time working on this race and watching all these drivers. Big thanks to Shaggy. Big thanks to Papa. Big thanks to you two, Toon, Leo,
Yeah.
and Salamander as well. And who is it? Petey that made a
Yeah.
bunch of these
Mhm.
graphics for us. So big thanks to Petey
Yeah.
as well.
All right, Leo, closing thoughts?
You know, it's always exciting to see a league race come around, and can't thank Shaggy enough for putting it on. You know, it's stressful. It's stressful running a league. You know, we've all been a part of NRL, and we've seen what goes on there, and dude's just shouldering it himself. So it's fun and stressful. So
Yep.
I'm excited to see how the next race goes. Arguably not my favorite track in the world,
Remind
but we'll
us
see.
what we have next week, because I don't remember.
It is Alsace Village Reverse
Oh
in
God.
Group 3 for 15 laps. Yep.
That was the
At-
one Moose. I did one Moose Wars race, and I was in
Mhm.
the M4, M3, the
I
Group
think I
3
remember
BMW,
this.
the one that's terrible. Not the M6, and I don't like that track, and so I tried to
Deadpool?
learn it, and I mean I did terrible. I was embarrassed after that race.
I can understand that. All right. Well, with all of that, another round has come to a close. We will see you all Friday. So until then, stay warm, stay safe, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and we will catch you all next Friday. Bye bye for now.
Yes, goodbye. Later, y'all.
Later.
Game over, man.